Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Edmonton Real Estate Today. I am your host, LeRoy Warden, and today I have with me Sergeant Paul Looker of the Edmonton Police Service. Sergeant Looker, good to see you. So we're here to talk to homeowners about safety and security in their home. What would you say are the top 3 things that a homeowner should do in their home to make it secure?
Firstly, from the inside, we're looking at doors and windows. They're the points of entry that anyone's going to use to get into your house.
Right.
So with the doors, first thing is we look at, can you see who's outside your house? So if you've got windows by your door and you can see who's there, that's great.
Yes.
If you've got a solid door, then we recommend the eye holes. They come, 180 is the minimum we'd recommend. They do have bigger ones that are 360. That way you can go to your door, you can look. If you don't like the look of the person that's there or you're not expecting someone, you can communicate through the door without having to go outside. The doorbell cameras, they work the same way because you can see who's there, and a lot of them have that two-way talking as well now.
Absolutely.
Then with the locks, make sure you've got good locks and a good deadbolt. The deadbolt should come out an inch, and you shouldn't be able to push it in. If you can push it in, then it's 14, you need to get a new one.
Okay.
And then on the other side of that, for the receptor that it goes into, obviously it should have the 4 screws in. 2 of them should be at least 3 inches if it's going into wood. If it's going into metal, that's okay. But wood, 3 inches, and that will make it more secure if someone tries to kick the door in.
Try to kick the door in.
And it make it extremely hard. And then with the windows, if you've got new windows, a lot of the new windows come with good security measures. But older windows, like patio doors, you can get things like patio door locks. They're easy to fit in. You just kind of pop it up and it locks it in place. Or if you've got a sliding window, you can put a dowel rod or a piece of wood in there. That's about 3/4 the length of the window.
Right.
That allows you to open it for air during the summer, but someone can't get in.
Okay.
And then again, basement windows are the same. Just keep them with a good lock on them and make sure they're secure at all times.
All right. My kids think I'm crazy sometimes, but I always say I don't answer my door unless I'm expecting someone coming to my home. So if someone just stops by, it's pretty hard for me to run to the door. And kids love to run to the door to open when that doorbell rings.
Yes, they do.
Right?
And that's the other thing. You've got to teach your kids as well.
Absolutely.
Not to answer the door, especially the younger ones. I mean, mine are teenagers, so they
Yes.
I'd expect them to. But they can go through the same process. They can look, see who it is. If they don't know who it is, then ask who it is first.
Before answering the door.
Yeah.
Over and above that, are there other items as a homeowner we should pay attention to make our home safe and secure?
Yeah, just one of the good things you can do is get yourself a decent safe. Ideally, if you can put it in the basement and secure it, that's great. Make sure it's fireproof, and then you can keep all your passports, your documents, your birth certificates. So if anyone does break in, that's a deterrent anyway.
Yes.
But if you have a fire, at least you can preserve those documents, which will help you with obviously what goes on after that.
Absolutely.
And there are lots of other things. If you've got stuff out on your counters, like laptops or whatever else, and you go to bed at night, make sure you've got some blinds and just close the blinds so people can't see in. Same as if you're going out for the day. Ideally, you should put things away out of sight. But if not, you can always just close the blinds so that people can't see in.
Are there things a homeowner could do, to secure their home, whether they're being snowbirds or they're going away vacation in the summer to secure their home?
The world of technology these days is great.
Yes.
So you can either just get a basic timer and put a lot of your lights on timers.
Yes.
That works well because people think you're in and out all the time. By far, probably better than that is if you've got one of these systems with the Wi-Fi access that links into your phone. They are better in the respect that you can have the plugs in there, you can plug things in, but you can set different permissions on them for different times. So there's no routine of the light goes on at 6 every night.
Right.
You can set it so that it only goes on when it gets dark.
Okay.
Or you can do it from your phone. We've got one the other day, and I was way away, and I just turned on my light through my phone.
Oh, nice.
And then no one's none the wiser.
While on vacation, are there other little things or more things that I could do to make sure that it's not blatantly obvious that we're not here?
Yeah, just, the best thing is just get a neighbour to run by and empty any junk mail out the box. If you're in a house that has its own mailbox that can the post deliver to,
right,
then make sure it's obviously got an opening, but it's got a lock on it and not just available to be opened
Okay.
easily.
Yes.
I know a lot of communities now have the community mail boxes,
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of different. But if you do have your own separate one, just put a good lock on it.
Absolutely. If it did occur, that's something that, you know, I was broken into, items go missing. Are there things I could do to make it easier for the recovery of those items?
Yeah, it's always a good idea, especially if the worst happens and you get broken into and you're going to make an insurance claim as well.
Mm-hmm.
Have a list of all your valuable property. When you bought it, how much you paid for it. Any serial numbers are really valuable for us because
Okay.
on our system we can put a serial number in, and then if we end up finding the property, it matches to the serial number. Other than that, you can get engraving tools or the ultraviolet pens, and just mark your property in a way that you can explain to the police or the insurance company. Some people say put your postcode on it,
Yes.
which is great if you're going to stay there for a long time.
Right, right.
But if you move around a lot, you might want to just put your name on it or a telephone number. But as long as there's something marked and we know how it's marked, then we can look for property. It's the same thing with bikes. We have a lot of bikes
Yes.
that we can't identify because they're not marked in any way. There's a new bike registry.
Yes.
So if you get a bike, especially the expensive bikes, but any bike, register your bike with a bike property index. And then if it does get located, it's easy for us to find an owner.
Right. Are there any other things that you would want to add that I did not ask you?
No, I think a lot of it is the same as what we said before. It's look after yourself, look after your property, and then look after your community, and have everyone looking after each other, and it will deter people from being around.